Wayne was on the floor quietly crying while Taehyung looked at his father with his hatred-filled eyes. Mrs. Kim was too stunned to speak anything. "I don't consider you my son from now onwards. You have disappointed me." He grabbed his wife's hand and dragged her out with him, leaving his son and his son's wife alone. Taehyung stood there watching his mom and his dad leave his house. He turns back to her only to see her sitting on the floor with her back against the couch as she sobbed quietly. Soon his father's word clicked his mind that since the day he married her, only fights are taking place. There's no man in the world who does not want peace. Taehyung was tired of all these fights. He was fed up as he spoke, clenching his teeth. "I'm fed up of all this shit." One was quietly looking down while sobbing as he angrily threw a vase on the floor, completely breaking it into pieces, which made her flinch hard. Soon he was standing in front of her. She looked up, only to see him angry. She tried speaking but couldn't, so she shut her mouth up, looking down. "Sometimes I seriously doubt if you're really the reason for all the fights, because you're a bad luck." This actually hurted Vine, cause who would want to get called a bad luck? That too by her husband. This is really disturbing. The very next moment, Vine tried standing up, but she failed miserably, to which Taehyung chuckled huskily. He looked down at her, only to see her trying to stand up. He slowly kneeled down to her and grabbed her wrist, slowly looking at her with his eyes, and Vine never understood what emotions his eyes were displaying, because how can you expect a soul to identify and understand emotions when it was never treated with one? Within seconds, Wine was standing because he made her stand, and that too in a very harsh way. She hissed in pain as he was grabbing her wrist very tightly. "Do you really think that you deserve to be here?" he asked in his husky voice, making her flinch as she was left speechless. "Answer me, my dear wifey." He spoke huskily again. His voice was demanding an answer. "So you're not going to answer? How about I throw you out?" Wine's breath hitched, which he noticed. He quickly left her wrist, looking at her red eyes. "At some point I forgot that a hair matters, because I thought you were my wife and enough for me. I may be angry, but a child to me doesn't matter." He spoke looking away, which somehow calmed Wine a bit. And turns out that he was looking at the door. He saw his father leaving now with a smirk. His guards closed the door as now there were only Taehyung and Wine. "Just come with me." He walked but didn't feel her walking. He looked back to see her struggling to walk as her ankle twisted when her father pushed her. He made her lay on the bed. He carried her in his arms all the way upstairs to their shared bedroom. He quietly took the first aid and sat beside her and slowly applied pain relief ointment on her wrist, which would lessen her pain, because he felt that he had caught her wrist a bit too tightly. He sighed, doing all this. "Just rest for now. The maids will manage the work." He spoke looking away. As he was about to stand, she caught his wrist. He looked back at her slowly. As he saw her sitting, he hugged her a bit. "Will you really throw me out?" Her face looked as if she would burst out crying again. Any moment, he slowly held her in his embrace and kissed her forehead, speaking slowly. "Why would I do that? You're my wife. It's your house." One burst out crying on his chest as he held her close to him. His heart ached. "Stop crying." After a few good minutes, One stopped but was still sticked to him. "Such a cutie she is." He was slowly patting her head. He spoke huskily. "Sleep." Before he could get any reply, he heard snores. He chuckled, looking down only to see his wife sleeping peacefully on his chest. He carefully laid her on the bed and covered her with the blanket and walked to his study to work as his wife slept peacefully. Things were so complicated. God knows what will happen next. Taehyung was working on his laptop in this room. Taehyung POV. Damn that Mr. Kim. I gotta make him suffer. He just raised his hand on me. Like, come on, a child is not a mandatory thing. It's my life and I'm okay being childless. My short temper ends up ruining everything. One, she's my wife. I don't care what her past was, how her parents died or whatever it is. I call her a bad luck too, but I shouldn't. And I won't anymore. Everything is just so complicated. I just can't concentrate on my work with this chaos. I wanna just have some break from all the work and POV. While working, he was stressed out, but still continued to work like seriously. He has got only work. After a few minutes, he received a call of his secretary, which he picked up, and soon he was informed that he has to attend a meeting. But damn, how much work! Everything feels like a burden on him right now, and he just wishes to escape it. And somehow he was heard acknowledging that his wife was infertile. But come on, they can adopt babies, right? Of course. He walked back to his room to have a cold shower to freshen his mind, and the meeting will be held at evening 5 p.m. So yeah, he can rest before it as much as he wants and freshen up his mind. He saw his wife sleeping. He quietly walked to the washroom to take a cold shower to calm his mind. He took a towel with him and sighed. Meanwhile, Vian woke up and sat on the bed rubbing her eyes. She heard the shower and knew it was Taehyung taking a shower. Soon she went into a deep thought and God knows what she was thinking. Soon Taehyung walked out feeling fresh and better. Obviously, a cold shower always helps him. He was wearing just a towel. He noticed her in a state of deep thinking. He was back to his cold self, the original version. He was combing his hair as he spoke coldly. Thinking something, wifey? This made Ryan flinched as he chuckled, but what she said next made his heartbeat race. Can we consummate our marriage? Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe and share. Do not forget to comment and let me know how it is.